Close your eyes and let your hands rest lightly on your lap. Now take a deep breath in and then slowly breathe out. Imagine that you're in a clear soap bubble, able to see the world around you. You can see 3 colours of beautiful gold, bright white and pastel sky blue outside of your bubble. Choose one of these colours to fill your soap bubble. Slowly, the colour you've chosen starts to fill your bubble as a fine mist. It fills the whole space of the bubble, including above your head and below your feet. As you sit in the mist in your bubble, the mist keeps expanding and contracting around you until you feel it's the right distance from you. You notice the coloured light surrounding you begins to spin around you, or it may just stay still, whichever feels right for you. You now feel protected and secure in your bubble, and you know that this protection and security will remain with you for the duration of your meditation journey. Now allow your mind to follow the journey and wander off the path at will, joining and leaving the journey as things present themselves to you, allowing ideas and pictures to enter your mind, and where you acknowledge them and then let them go. It's the middle of the summer. The weather is warm with a slight refreshing breeze coming through your window, hardly moving the cotton curtains in your small lounge, which you converted to a makeshift office to be able to work from home. It feels stifling, even with the breeze from the window, as you sit staring at your blank screen, trying to work out a solution to a work-based problem. Your brain feels like it's full of cotton wool. You just can't seem to think straight. You decide it might help to go for a walk and get some fresh air. You don't need a coat. You pop the front door key in your pocket and leave the flat. As you close the front door and walk into the street, it feels as if a huge weight has been lifted from your shoulders. You walk down your road and you can smell the familiar smells from the various restaurants who are preparing for their evening trade, with the usual hustle and bustle of people coming home from work and the noisy rush hour traffic. You quickly turn off the main road into a quieter side road. You've got no particular route or destination in your head. You feel you just need to breathe the fresh air and clear your mind of all the day's clutter. As you walk, your mind seems to empty and you're not really thinking about anything in particular. You've walked down this quiet side street hundreds of times before on your way to the bus stop. Something makes you look up and you see a railway footbridge in front of you, which you don't recognise. In fact, the familiar surroundings you know have changed into tiny little terrace houses on both sides of the road, each with clean lace-net curtains in the windows and a shiny black doorstep. It reminds you of old photographs you've seen in the old history books of the area. You walk up to the railway footbridge and climb the 5 steep steps to the middle of the bridge, pausing for a few minutes to catch your breath. As you look around you, you see an industrial site of old factory buildings and warehouses. But as you gaze into the industrial yard, you notice a small half-overgrown footpath leading off in a different direction to the old factories. You walk down the slope from the footbridge and make your way to the half-overgrown footpath, which is shaded from the summer sunshine by huge overhanging trees. Once on the footpath, it's very cool in the shadows of the trees. You can hear the birds' song and the insects going about their business. You hear the quiet hum of the busy honeybees collecting the nectar from the woodland flowers, and see the odd butterfly hovering over various plants. It feels very peaceful here and so quiet. No traffic or people noise. You continue slowly walking for some time until you come to a small clearing. You notice a small wooden bench. You walk over to it and sit yourself down as you feel quite tired in the heat of the summer sun. You must have dozed off, as you can tell by the long shadows made by the trees. It must be early evening, heading towards dusk. Everything in the wood is very quiet and still. You suddenly hear a rustle in the bushes. It doesn't startle you, as you're still in a dreamlike state from your sleep. A little petite black cat steps out from the bushes. She's got beautiful hazel brown eyes, a brilliant white bib, and 4 perfectly formed white socks on her feet. She sits herself down in front of you and fixes you to the spot with her gaze. After what seems like hours, she begins talking to you telepathically into your head. She tells you she has come with a message for you. And as you sit on the bench taking this all in, she tells you the message and asks if you have any questions for her. You weren't expecting this, so it's taken you by surprise. You ask her any questions you might have and then just sit there absolutely mesmerised by the sight of this beautiful little cat, who's now sitting quietly washing herself in front of you. After a while, when she's finished washing herself, she looks up at you. She tells you it's time for her to go, and with that she slowly disappears in front of you, bit by bit, until there is just her face looking at you. She gives you one long last slow blink before completely fading away, and suddenly you're alone again. It's getting dusk now and quite chilly. You shiver and notice the goosebumps on your arms. You get up off the bench and begin retracing your steps along the footpath. As you walk along the path, deep in thought, you notice that the path has beautiful iridescent crystals lining the path either side, just catching the last amber rays of the setting sun and twinkling brightly back at you, lining the way. The wood is very peaceful, and you can hear the birds getting ready to roost in the trees for the night. Soon the chatter of the roosting birds die away, and everything becomes still and silent. The path seems much shorter than before, and you're soon at the end of the path, looking across the old yard towards the railway footbridge. You pause here a minute, just catching your breath. Eventually, you walk quickly across the yard and up the slope to the railway footbridge. You stop on the footbridge looking back from where you've just come. Everything is quiet and deserted. The wind is starting to pick up now. You can feel it on your face and arms. You carefully step down the 5 steep steps and back onto the pavement. You begin walking back down the road with the little terrace houses on each side. Although now you notice they're not old terrace houses at all. They're modern semi-detached houses with grass front gardens, a garage and driveway. How strange. You look back in the direction of the old railway bridge, but it's gone. You pause for a minute. You rub your eyes and look back again at where the railway bridge was, but it's definitely not there. Still deep in thought about what's just happened to you, you suddenly find yourself in your road and outside the front door of your flat. You let yourself in and walk up the stairs to your lounge. The computer and papers are still on the table where you left them. You don't feel like starting work at this time in the evening, so you walk over and sit in the chair by the window, just staring out at all the twinkling street lights in the distance and feeling really relaxed. As you relax into your chair, you start becoming aware of your surroundings and all the everyday sounds you're used to. You start wiggling your fingers and toes. Your eyes start focusing on things in your room. When you feel ready, either stretch or yawn or both as you slowly come round and back to the present.